Details for you right now on the UAPA sections that have been invoked by investigative agencies against NewsClick, the news organization. Let's take a quick look. UAPA, remember the Unlawful Activities Prevention Act. It's a particularly stringent act under which it is difficult for one to obtain bail. Let's take a quick look at the sections that have been invoked. Section 16 of the UAPA that cites terror, that has been invoked. Remember, UAPA in general is known as a anti-terror law. Section 17 has been invoked. It's citing the raising of funds for terror. Remember, an investigation by the New York Times had alleged that foreign funding was going towards NewsClick. Still, that terror link is something we're going to connect with reporters to understand more about. Section 18, citing conspiracy, has been invoked. Section 22C, citing offences by companies. Remember, the NewsClick founder has denied all charges. We'll connect with a reporter in a second to understand how NewsClick is responding to this. But Section 22C, citing offences by companies, also invoked over here, as you can see. Now, my colleague Anvit with us to bring us more context. Anvit, UAPA, known as an anti-terror law, it's a very stringent law. Can you tell our audiences the terror tag that is being attached via this law to this investigation? What is the justification being given by agencies for it?
See, this entire investigation revolves around receiving funds from abroad and receiving funds from sources that may have malified intentions. That is why UAPA has been invoked. Previously, ED, Enforcement Directorate, had also been probing the same case under Prevention of Money Laundering Act. And now that the special cell, which is known as an anti-terror organization, has come into the picture, and they have also registered an FIR, and the FIR was registered in August 17th. It has sections of UAPA, particularly if you talk about section, there is section 16 of UAPA, which talks about anyone who performs any act of terror. Other than that, section 17 is there, raising funds for to commit a terrorist act, which because the funds that had been received by NewsClick are also under investigation. Section 18 of the UAPA, that is the conspiracy to conspire or attempt a terrorist act, is also invoked. And other than that, section 22 of the UAPA of threatening any person who is witness or wrongfully restraining a person, that has also been invoked. These sections have been put along with other sections like criminal conspiracy, inciting violence, or spreading violence between two communities. These sections have also been present. So what the police is probing here is exactly because, see, early morning when the raids were conducted by special cell, some documents, some laptops and phones and hard disks have been seized. Police are trying to extract scientific evidence which can be linked to the funding, alleged funding that had been received. Now, see, previously initially the case was being probed by the Delhi Police's Economic Offences Wing. They had also been probing, disproportion asset that had been received, amount or money that had been received. After that, ED came into the picture, probing the same incident into PMLA, Prevention of Money Laundering Act. Then IT department had also done certain searches in these premises linked to NewsClick, and now the special cell of Delhi Police, that is the anti-terror squad, that has also been roped in. Now, okay, all these organizations have just one focus, to establish the trail of money. And when we talk about the trail of money, it goes back to the US, because, see, in between an NYT investigation also came out, in which one name, Neville Roy Singham, had also surfaced. Now, very interestingly, this man, he's a son of a Sri Lankan-based political historian who was a professor in Brooklyn University, in Brooklyn College in New York City. Also, it is being said that this man, Singham, he is a millionaire and a businessman. He also runs a IT consultant firm, and he has funded a global network of which NewsClick is a part. Okay. Now, whatever funding NewsClick had received through Neville Singham, that is also being under question, and that is also being probed in this entire case.
Okay, can you tell our audiences, Anvit, we were reporting that 35 plus locations have seen raids since earlier this morning. Can you tell our audiences some idea of the numbers here? People that have been taken in for questioning, no arrests have yet taken place. Is that accurate? Can you bring us more information?
See, the stance that the Delhi police have maintained is that so far no arrests have been made. But you're very correctly pointing out more than 30 locations were being raided since early morning. We are right now at the Lodi Colony police station of Special Cell, and all the detainees who have been brought and who had been also summoned along with the searchers, they have been summoned to join the investigation, they have been brought to this office, and you can see heavily barricaded the office remains even till the outside, because people are not being allowed beyond this barricade, because at least 5 to 6 journalists who are associated with NewsClick, they had been asked to join the investigation. They are all inside. They are being questioned. We believe that questioning will go on for at least 3 to 4 hours more, and the laptop, the hard disk, the cell phone that have been seized from them, they have not yet been sealed. They are being examined. They'll be forensically examined, but whatever data they can extract before sealing them and sending them to the court, and showing that seizures in the court before preparing the seizure memo. So that process is still on, and an ACP level officer, at least an assistant commissioner level officer, is currently overseeing this entire investigation and all the raids that were made since early morning today.
Okay. Anvit, can I just ask you to stay with us? 2 more reporters joining us right now for context on this story. My colleague Yesha from Mumbai and my colleague Yash is with us. We'll go to Yash first. Yash is with us from outside Sitaram Yechuri's house. The CPIM leader, the General Secretary of the CPIM, his house saw raids taking place too. Yash, what we were told earlier is that this was because there was an employee associated to an employee at NewsClick who was living at that residence at some point. Is that accurate? Can you bring us some clarity, and also tell us, have we had a response from the CPIM leader?
Sitaram Yechuri is joining us live on CNN News 18, sir. Raid was conducted here. Certain evidences were seized by the Delhi police. What all you can tell? Yes, you have given a clarification, but still, the person who was living here was a NewsClick employee and was related to one of your staff members here, sir.
That's right. One of my staff members lives with me here. His son works for the NewsClick. So they were obviously doing some investigation. We don't know what is the investigation for. So they have apparently, along with a lot of others from the news that is coming out of the city, they have taken their laptops and their cell phones. That's what they've done here.
Okay, so we have also accessed a seizure note from your residence where a couple of hard disk, 1 mobile phone, and some digital evidences have been gathered. So in any sense, you were aware about something like this would happen at your residence also? Any sort of notice was given before the police came to your residence?
No notice at all, no prior information at all. They just landed up in the morning asking a different question before they actually came to the house of the person who's staying here, who lives here. And they asked something very innocuous, saying that he's taken a loan and we want to inquire about that. But it finally turned out, when they came inside, that this is what they were looking for.
So they entered on a false pretext to your residence. Were you there, sir, when this question
happened? No, I wasn't here at that time.
You wasn't here. Okay. So yeah, this is the word coming in from Mr. Sitaram Yechuri, who says that he wasn't here when this entire questioning happened. In fact, he also make a allegation like on the false pretext police entered his residence, and in fact, we were also able to access the very seizure note from this very house from where we are reporting right now. And in that particular seizure note, it clearly mentioned that a Samsung mobile phone has been seized, 2 external hard drives have been seized, and a laptop has been seized. And in fact, that very seizure note also mentions about the FIR in which these seizures have been made. And in fact, as of now, the information we have is that the questioning is underway at the Special Cell office in National Capital. And in fact, Sitaram Yechuri, we just heard Sitaram Yechuri saying that whatsoever is happening is not a part of this investigation. But in fact, in earlier bite also, he maintained that this is all political vendetta, and they are, and he alleges also that the BJP or the central government is trying to muzzle the voices of the journalists and the opposition whosoever raises any sort of questions. Back to you.
Yash, thank you for bringing us that interview. Yash saying that police entered on a false pretext. This is information Sitaram Yechuri just gave him in the interview you just heard. Let's go over now to another reporter who's with us. Yesha Kotak is with us from Mumbai. Yesha, earlier in the day today, human rights activist Teesta Setalvad also saw her residence in Mumbai raided, reportedly because of links to NewsClick. What details can you bring us there? Have you also been able to speak to people at Setalvad's residence who talked about the process?
So Toya, we are right here outside Tisa Setalwad's residence. I'll show you. There's tight police bandobast. In fact, approximately 6-member team of Delhi special cell are inside. They're still investigating ever since this morning at around 9 a.m. was when they had reached Tisa's residence. However, as of now, there's no one who's spoken from her on her behalf. It was in fact mentioned that she was not letting the cops